What's up, everybody? Welcome to The Stack. I'm Alex.
I'm Justin.
I'm Pete.
And on The Stack, we talk about a bunch of books that have come out today, and we review them, and
we're relentless about it. You know, we go book to book. We don't waste a second of our time on this.
Just snapping through that
get
thing.
to it.
Snapping through it. That's when we got on before this call. I think we had if I recall, a very long discussion about snapping through it.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
the watchword.
Yeah, exactly. That's what everyone loves it when you snap their fingers at you.
Yeah, stop annoying our audio listeners, please.
Pete, you're not going to do it?
No, I'm not going to do
Justin,
it. I'm not.
You told me you hypnotized Pete, and when I did that, he'd start bucking like a chicken.
Yeah, he's going to. It takes
like a chicken, like a ghost chicken, like a headless ghost chicken.
Well, you're jumping ahead of it. We're not even there yet because first we're talking about Absolute Batman number 18 from DC Comics, written by Scott Snyder, art by Eric Canete. This is the second part of a two-part arc introducing the absolute version of Poison Ivy, who is an absolute nightmare. At the same time, we are jumping through time to see what's going on with Martha Wayne and the new Court of Owls. Also, Bruce checking in on his family, leading to a bit of an emotional status quo change by the end of the issue. Now, I'll just say, in our comic book club Discord, without calling anybody else, there's been, I think, a bit of consternation about Absolute Batman. Discord. I do feel like the tide has turned a little bit against this title, at least in our Discord. Some people are very positive about it. Some people are very negative. How are you feeling after this issue, guys?
This one hurt. This one was a real a shot in the stomach a little bit, you know?
Oh, is your mom named Martha too? Because that's the only way I could identify with your feelings.
Nope.
We started this podcast because our mother's names were all Martha, Pete.
Yeah, that has to be true, Pete, or else.
No, I'm sorry, it's not true. I just think that I get it. Like, this is a different Batman. But kind of seeing the choices Batman is making it's almost upsetting. I would say borderline upsetting. It's just you're shocked. You're like this, you're kind of saying things like, well, that's not the Batman that I like. Like, I get that this is the absolute Batman and he has an axe on his chest and he's hardcore and more yoked than we've ever seen him. But I'd still like him underneath all that to be the Batman that I root for. And if he's just going to kind of do cold shit like this, I can understand why maybe people would be upset or maybe want to not come back or something like that. You know what I mean?
Well, I think he's not capable of dealing with his living parent, and like, I think that's the twist. That's the extremity there, I think.
That's the hard thing, though. Like, even that sentence hurt my soul because it's like you have a parent back. You know what I mean? Like, this is crazy. This is a cool twist. This is something we've never seen before. And you're just going to delete that message? You cold son of a bitch. You're going to delete that message?
So just to give a little bit of context here, and I think I said spoiler warning earlier, but just in case not, spoiler warning for all of these books that we're going to be talking about. It seems very clear that this arc is about Bruce realizing that if the city is going to embrace him as a symbol, he must purely become that symbol and give up his heart and give up everything except Batman. We see that in a couple of different ways. One way is he attacks Poison Ivy's very literal human heart. The more figurative way that Pete is referring to is he deletes a message from his mother, letting go that part of himself. I know, I'm barking like a dog mad over here.
I hear you, Jasper. I agree.
Yeah. I really like this. I will say I'm pretty positive on this book.
So you like your Batman just shooting people in the heart and deleting messages like they mean nothing to him? That's your Batman?
What I like is good stories that are well told, and that's what I believe this is.
Well, and I think, I understand some of the reaction to this book because it's hard to have all this extremity. Like every aspect of this book is extreme on purpose. That's sort of the intention here. And I think it's hard to just sustain that and be like, put this poison ivy so extreme. Batman's reaction so extreme. The mom being alive is in itself an extreme choice. Mm-hmm. So I'd be curious if and the art is also extreme. It's very intense, busy, or big, like grotesque in a lot of ways. I do think I'd be curious if they shook it up and the next villain Batman faces, if it's like the ventriloquist and he just has like a slightly larger hat on.
What?
Or if the toy man is just like, no, I actually just went to Ithaca instead of Cornell. It's a very slight difference. You know what I mean? Like we don't, but like
it's a big difference. It's a big difference.
Nobody would know about that. Who could weigh in on?
Who could possibly tell the difference?
Who could tell the difference between a person that went to Ithaca and a person that went to Cornell? I can't.
One has a beard and one doesn't, but that's all I know.
That's also not always true. Alex, if that is your name.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm saying like I'd be curious if Scott and Nick or whoever, or Eric in this case, were to take a break from the extremity and how the book would change, because I think I like it. I like that this is the flavor of this book. This is your Mountain Dew Code Red of Batman. And so
I guess he has to be like this because he is in this absolute universe and
he doesn't have to be
hardcore.
He doesn't have to be.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's the direction we're going. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So Alfred tells him this issue. I'm forgetting the exact height, but he's like, "You're 6'9" and 400 pounds," and I'm like, "Yeah, all right. That's the concept. That's the book." I think the thing that was throwing people that I saw is the multiple timelines going on in this arc, which is a lot more to deal with than usual. Like we've often balancing two timelines here. We've got Martha on her Court of Owls quest. We've got Bruce talking to his friends. We've also got the flashbacks with Poison Ivy. We've also got the current stuff with Poison Ivy. So there's a lot of stuff happening all at once, but it works for me. It feels like this propulsive thrumming that's going on. Like these things are all exactly what you're talking about, Justin. That everything is always happening all the time. All this pressure is down on Bruce, leading to a final page that is a big, wide open splash page. And I think that's the idea, that it just keeps pushing and pushing and pushing until he finds this new status quo for himself. But I don't know.
While we're there, I wanted that epic, we've seen a lot of Batman on the roof kind of panels, but this is like up there. It's a really impressive, epic looking panel of Batman on top of the roof. And it's quite a different feeling. I've been on the roofs with Batman many years, but this feels different. So whether Batman maybe
Pete, that was an actual bat. You were on the roof with a bat.
And the zookeeper was like, "Please get down.
You're not supposed to be in here, sir."
Yeah.
This is the dark room of the zoo.
All that shenanigans aside, I'm interested to see if this Batman keeps getting darker, or if he is going to kind of pull himself back from this ledge a little bit.
I don't think so. Where do you guys delete messages from your mom? On a roof, or like just in your bedroom, or in the tub?
I would never.
I usually have to get up high on a roof so I can get service.
That's what Batman's doing?
Yeah.
It's like old darn
phone service. It's Darkseid. Darkseid's interrupting my... Anyway. All right, what do we want to talk about? A Marvel comic book, X-Men United, #1, written by Evil Ewing, art by Tiago Palma. What are you showing off there, Pete?
I got a Wolverine t-shirt on. Okay.
I thought you had didn't you show that when we were talking about Godzilla on the previous podcast?
Nope. It was when you were talking about X-Men United.
Oh, okay. All right. That's the movement. You just lift that up. You lift your tits up when you're talking about Godzilla.
That's the way we talk about it. Those are the words we say.
Hey, if you're out there, just lift your tits. Give them a breather. You know what I mean?
Give them a breather.
Yeah.
You got the undersweat.
We know what we're talking about. I really like this book. I will say, I'll even go as far to say this is the X-Men book I've been waiting for since they rebooted from the Krakoa era. Emma Frost establishes a school of the mind, and everybody is invited. So you get the full X-Men cast from all the different books, teaching different disciplines. We get a lot of young X-Men as well. And wouldn't you know, the villain here, at least in this first issue, is Scott Summers, who's like, very rightly, mind you, like, this always goes wrong. This always goes terribly. There's going to be a traitor either within or without. There's going to be a problem. This is bad news. But he takes it way too far by the end of the issue. What I loved about this is it is very soothing to get the X-Men back in a school atmosphere. I love seeing the exceptional X-Men kids who Eva Ewing wrote previously. This is very clearly a direct continuation of that, getting pumped up to 2X, which I thought was fun. They're sophomores in this program. You still have the younger, newer X-Men are coming in as well, the students. And you have the requisite drama, and everybody has long, deep histories with each other. This is what I read X-Men for, and I got all those vibes I wanted out of this issue.
I mean, same. Like, to me, like, this is the perfect premise for a reset X-Men book. And I don't know what the timeline of when the idea was conceived, but I feel like you're saying this should have been the first book out of on the stands, where it's sort of like, let's touch on all the X-Men without a lot of their baggage from their individual books, because the tones are so different. And I think you need this unifying book to sort of be like, here's the state of the X-Men. Let's get some characters that we all like talking to each other a little bit to sort of reestablish a vibe, them networking a little bit before we go off and like, some of the X-Men are down under the earth in like a dystopian 20th century mutant New Orleans, while the Scott is just mad in Alaska because it's cold and he lives in a metal house that is a body. So like, I'm that's all to say. I'm very excited about this, and I like this as just an ongoing home for good status quo X-Men stories.
Yeah, I was also surprised at how much I liked this. I mean, Scott is the worst. Oh my God, he was so annoying. And other than that, though, I was having a blast. I thought he does have some points, but you don't have to be such a douche about it. You know what I mean? It's important to try things and fail and all that kind of stuff.
You talking about me or Scott, Pete?
Scott.
Okay.
Also you.
Ah, good. I knew it.
You should totally try things as well. Yes, I'm glad you guys like this as well. Why don't we move on to this week's Hot Image Comics book, Tigress Island?
I think Tigress. You always say Tigress, but I think
do,
it's Tigress.
but I think that's wrong. Tigress Island #1, written by Patrick Kindlon, art by EPHK. We haven't really talked about this on the Stack podcast too much, but there's been this weird thing going on at Image where every week one of their new titles that otherwise mostly people haven't heard of completely sells out, or they're like, wow, what a huge success. There's been some good journalism going on. I think there was a piece on The Beat where they wrote about this being like, yeah, they're probably not under ordering them, but like underselling them, so there's not enough copies going up so they could say they can be sold. But ultimately, if the book is good, what does it matter? And here we're getting a riff on exploitation thrillers as a bunch of women who've not quite reached the peak of their career are taken to the titular island and thrown in this island prison for unknown reasons. Very stylish, very different looking book, but what did you think about it? Is it worth being this week's Hot Image title?
I mean, I don't know about a wildly popular speculation market comic. It's cool when you find success like that, but I did enjoy this. I think the story's cool. I like the stylistic choice of the art. It really doesn't pull any punches. It feels like it's right on the line of like Charlie's Angels, like more cheesecakey comics, but it never goes that way. It always makes the harder choice and like puts them in a more intense situation, and I think that's cool.
Yeah, I really think the art's the hero here. I love this kind of like funky kind of vibe it's got going on. Love the colors and the shading. I'm not sure I like the premise, but
Pete, are you pro imprisoning women on an island or anti imprisoning?
I'm anti.
Okay, so that might be the problem.
Yeah.
There you go. Wait, which islands? I know you have a couple, Pete. So what are you imprisoning there?
Actually, what was the name of that island? You used to spend a lot of time on an island.
Coney.
Coney. No, it wasn't that. It started with an
I feel
E.
like it was something else, yeah.
Yeah, it started with an E. Anyway, I'll remember later in the podcast. I generally
Or someone else will. You know?
Yeah.
Uncover it.
I generally like this book. I thought maybe it could have gotten to the premise, given that that's the title of the book, maybe a little quicker. We don't really get there until the end of the issue. Also, occasionally it's a little hard to tell some of the characters apart, I think, because they're all these, like, smooth, round-faced... Cupid doll is probably the wrong thing I'm thinking of, but... I don't know.
The art style is what you're saying.
Yeah, the art style makes it a little hard to tell some of the women.
How the figures are represented.
Yes, it makes it particularly hard because there's a reveal at the end of the book where somebody's like, "You're doing this thing," and I was like, "I don't know which one that is yet. I'm sorry, this is not impactful for me," but I'm still intrigued enough to read the second issue because this does make some bold choices.
Yeah.
Exorcism at Buckingham Palace, #1 from IDW, written by Hannah Rose May, art by Kelsey Ramsay. This is a sequel series to The Exorcism at 1600 Pen, which, per that name, was about a demonic possession inside the White House. Here we're going over to England. We don't know exactly if it's the same sort of demonic possession or not yet. By the end of this issue, it does take place in the same world because there are some phone calls with the president from the previous series, but... it does keep the idea of there's something demonic going on. It is in a house of state, and it is a family drama first and foremost, just like the first series. I really dug the first series, and one of the heroes there was having Vanessa Del Rey on art, so I was a little nervous that we were getting the same writer, but switching artists. What did you guys think about the sequel?
I was really surprised by this. It feels quite different from that book for it to be like a sequel, but I did like it. It really embraces the royal family. Like the previous book was very, very like America, a family, slightly estranged. This approaches it in purely lineage fashion. They take for granted everyone's estranged because it's like, well, no one talks to anybody else. Of course, it's England. And I was like, oh, that's cool. It feels like a hard restart with the same tone and maybe plot progression. This one feels darker, though. And already, by the end of this first issue, I was like, wow, that was pretty fucked up pretty fast. And it made me think that there are no rules. There's not been an established rule set that we're bringing into this comic. I feel like there could maybe not be a single ghost in this comic.
What?
I appreciated that Hannah Rose May took a swing to go in another direction here. It could have been the exact same thing again, or the president being like, let me tell you about these demons. That might still happen at some point in the book. But like you're saying, Justin, this did feel appreciably different, and I think that's very smartly done for doing a sidequel, if you will. I do like the art. I don't think it's quite as strong as Vanessa Del Rey, just because Vanessa Del Rey is one of the best artists working today. But it's still good, and it matches the dark tone of the book. Yeah,
it has that creepy factor, I think, that this kind of thing calls for. I thought the twists and turns were fun. Intense last panel. Art, just does such a great job of capturing the tension and showing you kind of where the badness is and that kind of stuff. But it is, it's a different vibe. You would almost think they would want to keep that art for this, but I still, like you said, Alex, enjoyed the art.
And you guys are both such royal family heads.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, dude.
Don't get me started on Kate.
Yeah, Queen Elizabeth III, what's up?
Nice.
King Henry VIII, I am.
Nice. Look at you guys really stepping into it.
Yep.
Yeah. I was in London when the Queen died.
What?
Unrelated.
Wow, okay. Dude. Wow.
Okay.
Whoa.
Say more.
Whoa.
Say more, Justin.
I was there. I showed up. All of them. She was carried out by corgis.
She killed herself. She looked out the window of Buckingham Palace and slit her own throat.
Saw you and was like keeled over.
I had words. I had a little custom words with her, and she was like, "That guy made a lot of good points."
Dead.
And then died? I don't know, bro.
Jeez, that's dark.
Sometimes you just need a great outline. Yeah, you know, and you need just a great edit point, you know? And she was like, great blackout.
Oh, my God.
See, there's a good horror movie. Your villain is the editor.
An improviser.
It's like runs across and edits.
Did you die? That's really funny. What a sad way to die. No.
I was just trying to do zip, zap, zap. Absolute Green Lantern number 12 from DC Comics, written by Al Ewing, art by Jahnoy, Lindsay, Sid Kotian, and Pressy. This has all of our Green Lantern characters all teaming up to fight a Black Lantern, I guess. Obsidian. Not 100% clear on what Obsidian is, but it is that character.
It's a funny shape.
It is a funny shape. Justin, you love this book.
Yeah, Justin.
Yeah.
I like how weird it is. And you know what? I miss the character of Joe. And this Joe's a little bit different from our main universe Joe, but I really like her. And when this book sort of really pivoted toward her a couple issues back, I think it really came alive. And I've been having her as an anchor character really helps let the weirdness pop around her. We get a couple reveals in the back end of this book that I thought were fun. And I give credit to Al for really being like, I can do all this Spectrum stuff at once. I get it. And then he just is. He's just dialing it up and down when he needs to.
Yeah, shout outs to Al. You know what I mean?
Pete, any other thoughts?
No,
yeah.
He's down to shout outs.
Yeah, I thought really fun last panel, great art and action. I love this team that they have working together here is cool. Excited to see Joe always. Yeah, I like this, and I like the pacing of it. This is a tight package.
I'm really enjoying it as well. It is completely different, and like Justin, you and I talked to Al Ewing about back at New York Comic Con, it's sometimes like...
He just calls him Al.
Yeah, I call him Mr. Ewing. It breaks your brain a little bit to have all of these different Green Lantern things all in the same place at the same time, but all remixed, where I'm like, that thing is like that other thing, and I'm spending a lot of time doing that. But that's not fair to the book, because I think the story itself is propulsive, it's fun, and I really am enjoying, particularly in this issue, Hal Jordan's anime hair. Very good, very strong. Yeah,
come on,
strong choice. Imperial Guardians number 1 from Marvel, written by Dan Abnett, art by Marcelo Ferreira. This is spinning out of Imperial, everybody's favorite recent Marvel event. And specifically, this is a Black Ops team of Guardians working for Maximus the Mad. That features Captain Marvel and Gamora, who is now back alive because it turns out Cosmic Ghost Rider, if he kills people, he can bring them back to life. Same thing with Darkhawk. Also, Amadeus Cho's there. I did mention Cosmic Ghost Rider, and yeah, there you go.
Who goes by Francis, when really it's Frank Castle.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, I've enjoyed some stuff with him. I don't get the deal with that character. That is, they even make fun of it in this issue where they're like, that's too much stuff. It is it's still too much stuff, even if you make fun of it. That's all.
Well, it was a joke, and didn't Donny Cates create this character as a bit? And now it's like, nah, we think he's cool. And it's like, that's comics. There's nothing more comics being like, nah, this is cool. And I'm on board, and I'm on board with this book. Imperial was one of the messier crossovers of late that felt like I couldn't tell you much about it, and I read every word on the page. So this coming out of that, it doesn't get caught in the mire. There's a nice storytelling format where we get some talking head moments so the characters can be fun and funny. It's got like a little bit of the old Guardians tone, a little irreverent, while featuring characters that are absolutely mired in continuity in a way that they are making fun of. And when they call it out, it makes me feel good.
Nice. Yeah, I felt like this was a little talky, but fun team. Did love the action where there was action. And I feel like once this starts cooking, I'll get into it. But yeah, I know Cosmic Ghost Rider is ridiculous, but just seeing him like, oh, that's cool.
That's your favorite Punisher?
I don't know about that.
I gotta say, I found this a little overpacked. I like Dan Abnett, but there was too much going on every single page, and there were bits of this that I liked. I thought the stuff with Maximus the Mad was interesting. I like the fact that they're not being totally fooled by working with him. I thought Dark Hawks, I can never say that properly.
Dark Hawk.
I
love Dark Hawk.
His visions are interesting, and I like that they were rendered in black and white. But there was like nonstop confessionals and also action and also dialogue scenes. There's just a lot going on every page. That's all.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, but there you go.
Sometimes that's a good thing.
Dork, number 2 from Image Comics by Brett Bean. This is another big Image Comics book. This was the first out of the gate that had this whole sellout trend going on. And it features a half-dwarf, half-orc who is on a big adventure with a severed ghost chicken head and an evil killer shield. Everybody in the world is after them because they have a big destiny. Pete, you're our dork on this podcast. Take it away.
Hell yeah,
You're a dork for dork.
I'm geeking out for this dork here. Yeah, first off, fun cover. Also, I'm a sucker for a map. We get that on like the first page. Yeah, I just love this comic. I love the vibe of this comic. The art style is bright and fun. Even though there's like severed heads and it's a ghost chicken head, it's still a blast. I just this is just such a fun adventure comic, and the voice and the tone of it is just so kind of cool and unique, and the villains are ridiculous but great. So just every page of this is just an absolute joyride.
I love a map. And this comic we get a little map at the top. This comic reminded me of playing the game Chrono Trigger on Super Nintendo. Anybody?
Trigger.
I get the reference, but I don't think I ever...
You just triggered me with that. Holy shit, that's crazy.
There's a lot of elements here. There's some time travel. There's some fantasy, which you don't see mixed a ton. So that was it was itching a deeper part of my brain.
Wow.
Yeah, this is fun. I am surprised this is one huge seller for Image, but I don't know. I mean, it's very adjacent to I Hate Fairyland. Brett Bean did art for that as well. It's the same sort of profane and gross fantasy stuff, maybe not as over-the-top comedy as that one, but it's cute. It's funny. I still don't... I'm not quite on board with the mix, like, a dwarf and an orc are not so far apart that a half-half is like, oh, man, how did that happen? What are you talking about?
How dare you?
I don't know. It's kind of the same.
Yeah, I mean, it's really just a short-on-short situation.
Come on. Right? Don't
could be
middle-eyed
tall.
Short people.
Or maybe I'm thinking of Urakai.
Yeah. I would consider an orc to be pretty short, usually.
No, they're big.
Big orc?
Yeah.
So you're saying like this big orc met this dwarf?
Yeah, orcs like the beard. He doesn't have a beard. Like the dwarfs are short and have beards. That's
you should have a beard. You fucking.
I'm not a dwarf. Maybe I'm an orc. I don't know. I guess we'll establish that next episode. A Quiet Place, Storm Warning, #1 from IDW, written by Phil Hester. Art by Ryan Kelly. This is an official tie-in to the horror movie series, taking place kind of the same time as Day One, I want to say, or like, it doesn't really matter. Whatever. It's about an island in the middle of the Mississippi.
Wow. It's definitely Day One.
Yes, it's Day One, but the important thing to understand is that, like, while the rest of the world is being taken over by these aliens who kill people if they make noise, this town in Mississippi that is in the middle of the Mississippi on an island has a little bit of time to know what's going on and think about responding to it, which, as a fan of the series, or at the very least some of the series, I thought was a really interesting idea and interesting take that reflected a lot of the divisions that we are facing in terms of big issues in the world outside, which I think they're ripping off here. So I thought it was a very smart premise that works really nicely with the Quiet Place franchise. I'm a fan.
Yeah, I was really surprised by the sort of politics, like PTA board style politics that they had at the top of this. But I do think it really worked, and it made me very sympathetic for the main character family. We do get some time. We get a flash forward at points, so and it's featuring characters I didn't quite expect to see together. So good job teasing me there. And when I would have to say A Quiet Place, a movie I like, the original, but the defining moment and the takeaway is the whiteboard that has sound ? Circled on it. So, amazing moment. I thought it was very funny that this book really went away from that premise so hard. They were like, yeah, they respond to sound. I'm telling you that sound is the thing. And I was like, oh, great. Really made it clear.
Pete?
Yeah, I mean, this is a nightmare scenario for me. I hate being quiet, so I would die so fast. So I'm not excited about this premise that continues to keep coming out in different forms. But
you would be yelling at the monsters as they ate you?
Well,
That's
I just
the part about quiet.
can't, for the life of me, I can't be quiet. So it's just a ticking time bomb scenario.
Do you mean like stubbing your toe and screaming, dropping a paint can? What do you
Any
mean
of
by
those
noise?
things. Reacting to other people. Just, I'm not, I shout in movies. Yeah, I'm not quiet.
You're America's Mr. Bean. The loud.
Cool.
Very loud. That's how you're different.
All right. I got to work
The
on my
one
physical
defining
comedy,
difference. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Bean's very popular.
Yeah, he's still only gaining.
Particularly today, I want to say.
On this very day?
On this very day. This is Mr. Bean Day. We were just talking about him, right? He does that dork book.
It's actually Mario
that's
Day.
Brett Bean. That's Brett Bean.
Yeah.
Different bean.
Uh-oh,
Today is-
SpaghettiOs. That's what
Don't
I
mix
would
up
say.
your
in
beans.
Today is March 10th, which is Mario Day.
Hey, it's a Mario. Action Comics 1096 from DC Comics, written by Mark Waid, art by Skylar Patridge. This is kicking off the reign of the Superboys, which front and centers the Superboys in each and every one of the Super Family books. Not too much of a stretch here, where this book has already been doing that. So we continue to get that here. I thought it was worth picking up. We haven't read the past couple of issues, or haven't reviewed at least the past couple of issues, because it's one of those, this is always good. I always have a good time. But given this event-ish is kicking off, what do you think about this issue that finds Superboy dealing very similarly to Dork with some time shenanigans?
Oh, time shenanigans.
Like the video game Chrono Trigger from the late 90s on the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. I like this a lot as well. I was surprised by how much of this was like a Superman defining issue just for Superboy. We saw a lot of the classic Superman poses, but in slightly different angles. I thought the art really stood out by Skylar Partridge, having sort of a mix between the very bright tones and a little bit of darkness, blending those well, which you expect the brightness from a Superman or Superboy story, but the darkness and sort of the anxiety generation version of a Superman that we have in this Superboy, I thought was cool.
Yeah, I thought this was a cool cover, fun issue, great art, bright and kind of cheery Superboy stuff. This is, I love the story, love the action, super solid.
Super solid for Superboy. Alias Red Band, #1 from Marvel, written by Sam Humphries, art by Geraldo Borges. This is bringing back Jessica Jones in a new series. This is set in continuity, so she is the wife of Luke Cage. Luke Cage is the mayor. She has given up her PI license because she is the wife of the mayor, but of course she gets embroiled in a mystery anyway. Obviously, Brian Michael Bendis' shadow looms large over Jessica Jones. Do you think Sam Humphries escaped it?
Ooh. I'm not sure about all that, but I thought this was a fun book, and I love this kind of odd couple of Jessica Jones and Typhoid Mary. I thought that was cool. I thought the art did such a great job of setting the mood. I thought this was a really solid first issue and got me excited about this kind of adventure. Yeah, the only thing that was driving me a little nuts is the depiction of Luke Cage in this, but other than that, it was great.
Well, I was also surprised by their marital strife in their scenes, which I liked it. I think it's a good choice for their relationship. The pressures of... They really make it real, the pressures of being the first couple of New York, essentially. And I thought that was well played. The little things that would definitely create cracks in a relationship happening here with people. You know, when they first got together, it was sort of that unlikely couple, but that really worked, and they had like the strongest relationship in the Marvel universe, I think, for years. When Bendis was like running shit over there, they were the first couple of the Marvel universe. So it was sort of bracing to see this in a different place. I'm curious if that will be explored more as we get into this like really fucked up murder that we're going to be seeing more about as well. But great to have her back. And to answer your question, Alex, it's not the same as the original team because that was such a specific vibe. But this feels more of the moment. It feels a little more rooted in the mainstream Marvel universe, but still doing a lot of the more like gritty, fucked up character study.
Justin, you answered Alex's question, but what about mine? Do you think this is a cool cover?
Yes, I do. David Mack.
David
cover?
Mack, yes.
Yeah.
David Mack doing covers for the whole thing.
Love a Mac attack.
Yeah.
I'd love a Big Mac. Get out of here,
Big Arch.
Yeah. I had that.
Wow, what a...
Have you had it yet?
I
Have you had it?
I have had it.
Wait, is that new?
Me too.
Yeah, not good.
Really?
I don't know. McDonald's is disgusting in general. I think we can all agree. So
What a fast food journey you guys are going on
their
together.
disgusting new burger was disgusting. It didn't taste like anything. Like their burgers are flavorless.
Here's the thing. This is the crazy thing I think about fast food and fast casual food. It's all about being like, hey, you need so much fucking protein. Hurry, eat this protein. And so they're like, it doesn't taste good. It's just pure meat. And I'm like, what? Why are we doing this as a people?
Did you like the Big Arch, though, Pete?
Well, I didn't hate it as much as you did. Like, I did some adjusting, but I thought the sauce...
You asked to see the chef?
No, like, I took out some of the stuff. But...
Where do you get your pickles, Bobby?
Wait, I am actually really curious what you took out, Pete. This is going to make me mad, I know, even though I didn't like the burger.
Probably onions, or if it came with bacon. I'm not sure what it all came with, but
You took out bacon?
There is no bacon on it. There are two types of onions. There's the crispy onions and they're little.
Kept the crispy and then took out the other ones.
The sliver ones? Okay.
Yeah.
You don't like
onion. I saw somebody online who was like, well, I don't like pickles or lettuce, so I got that off of there. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Those are two fine things to put on a burger.
Yeah. Wow, you just ordered a kid's meal burger, my friend.
Get something for babies, idiot.
Also, let me just say, all of those burgers taste almost the same.
100%.
So
100%.
I don't know to really get into the debate about them.
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, it's beefier than a Big Mac, which I appreciated, and less bread. So,
that's a win for the protein queen over here.
I will say the only one that I don't
cheese was good
dislike is the Big Mac, but that's all because of the Big Mac sauce, which is what? Relish and Russian dressing.
Yeah, it's like mayonnaise.
I don't
and
know the
salad
secrets.
dressing.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't know the secret, Pete.
Yeah.
For a man who trades in secrets, you should.
It was a lot more burger that tastes like nothing instead of less burger that tastes like nothing. I don't know.
So you were happy with more nothing.
I guess.
And let's be clear, though, also, you guys raced out to get
Raced.
This. Yeah.
Raced. Had to get it. Had to try it.
Yeah, man.
It was gross. Also got a Shamrock Shake. That wasn't bad.
Oh, those are great. I love a good Shamrock Shake. Come on, man.
And for anybody who hasn't been watching on YouTube, we've been talking about the seasons this entire time. I had a cover up, and of course, this was all about the seasons number 9 from Image Comics, written by Rick Remender, art by Paul Azaceta. In the latest issue, the Season Sisters finally try the Big Arch from McDonald's to find out what they thought But what did you guys think of this issue?
Classic Remender fast food tie-in.
Yeah.
You know?
No, in this issue, the entire city has been ensorcelled by magic mirrors from our evil carnival, and chief among them is Winter Seasons, who, per the cover, turns the whole thing into Victorian winter, and her two sisters have to figure out how to change the city back. Justin, you're a Seasons booster. What do you think?
Yeah.
I like this. I feel like,
Boost it up.
the tone that this book has taken throughout, it's always been like pretty storybook and has impending dread, but in a very colorful, like the carnival's coming to town way. And we really pushed through that into this much different thing. Now it's a drab, like Russian style story with a very big metaphor at the center of it. And I'm curious. I'm going to be very curious to reread this and see what the whole arc of it is, because it's such an interesting progression, and the art, Paul has to say, this art is excellent, and I wonder, I'd love to talk to Rick about this book specifically, because I feel like I can really see what he's up to in a lot of his books, both from like premise into like larger political or societal take. This one feels like a riff, a jam in a lot of ways, which I've been really enjoying because it feels very free compared to a lot of other work out there.
I love how you're on a first name basis with all comic book writers. You're like Al, Rick.
We talk to them a lot, all the time.
Yes.
You don't think
We interviewed them a ton of times over the years.
we know almost every name we say on the show? We know them. Pete, we're not talking to Tom
I
Cruise.
would walk up to, Mr. Remender and be like, yo, Rick, what it is.
You
man.
yelled at him on the con floor.
Many times.
You're going to call him Mr.
can't-
Remender?
I can't wait to do it again.
That is... Anyway.
Anyways, I think this is awesome. I think it's worth it for the art alone. It's super tight nanners, this art. It's really special. It's next level. It's really impressive. It's a whole world that is created in this book in such an interesting way. And we kind of get, I thought all the kind of sisters were on the same team, but it almost seems like in this last panel reveal that maybe Winter is on the other side. So,
It does seem like sisters may be doing it for themselves.
okay. But, yeah, all that aside, this is great. It continues to be great. It's a real kind of tripped out adventure every time you pick up one of these comics seasons. So, yeah, I can't wait to find out what's next.
Great. All right. Next up, Godzilla vs. America, Portland, #1 from IDW, written by Colleen Coover, Kat Ferris, Caitlin Yarsky, and Mark Russell. Art by Colleen Coover, Kat Ferris, Caitlin Yarsky, and Eric Donovan. This is the latest anthology that IDW has done, set in a specific city, and using creatives from that very city to put together the book. So this one is, of course, set in Portland, and it plays with Portland tropes, including finding the ideal Portland hot dog, among other things. I thought this was another delightful issue of this anthology. I'm really enjoying all of this. Justin, what did you think?
Well, I said this about the Kansas City one.
Yeah.
I was like, it's all inside jokes and all like tour guide. And this one goes even further. And it is fun. But they're like, I hope they don't take down the whiskey library. And I only know because I've been to that bar. But that's just a cool bar. In the whole book is them being like, hope Godzilla doesn't wreck this thing I'm very specifically saying. So that's fun. I think the tone of this is very much in the vibe of Portland, where it's like, yes, make fun of us. We know we're too much. There's some good jokes about keeping Portland weird in here, I thought. The hot dog chase is fun. All of the specifics are fun. And for our guy Gods, I know him pretty well too, so that's what I call him. Because we all know that his name is Godzilla.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. If we dropping the Z there, or what?
Godzilla.
Godzilla.
Okay.
It's not God's, God apostrophe S, Illa.
Yeah.
It's Godzilla.
With a Z. This is great. I agree. This is a blast. The Sasquatch versus Godzilla was awesome.
Super fun.
That was just such a cool. Yeah, just well-executed ideas, really great humor, fun use of Godzilla in these stories. I mean, this just continues to be impressive. They're really delivering on this. I feel like they're doing such a good job of nailing the tone and giving you different stories based on the cities, which you would think, would get boring or whatever, but the specifics make it so much fun. And it's really such a blast.
The crazy thing I was thinking when I was reading this is like, you can't do this for New York, really, because everybody knows New York. Because New York's in movies and TV. So it's sort of like, they're not going to be like, Soho. And it's like, yeah, everybody knows that. Like, it's...
They can do it. They can
do it.
Of course they could do it, but it's a totally different thing. When you name check, like, Saks Fifth Avenue, it's like, yeah, I know. We don't know what you mean by that.
Yeah.
Or like
I am very
Joe's
intrigued
Pizza.
to see what happens. The next one is Godzilla versus Texas. Very curious. These have been very progressive
Yes.
books. I wonder if he's going to do some redistricting down there or what's going to happen.
Oh, Jesus.
We'll see.
Wow.
We'll see.
Definitely.
Bleeding Hearts, number 2 from DC Comics and Vertigo. Art by Dennis Camp, art by Stippen Morian. This is the kickoff of the second month of Vertigo. And this takes place in a world where zombies can talk and think, but still eat human flesh, except for one of them, who has started having a beating heart. Last issue, the cliffhanger was he encountered a woman and who we discover are her child. This issue flips over to their perspective as we continue the action. What did you guys think about this book?
You camping, bro? What's up?
Yeah, I'm so down for this. I love the first issue. I think it has the art and blend of premise here is so great. We get a lot of backstory and just some nice, more of a quieter issue. I felt like interesting, especially in your second issue, to go so still. I feel like usually you're heightening so hard. This one feels like it goes the opposite way, but it really serves the story. It deepens a lot of the emotional stuff. Fantastic art. So I'm fully on board for this. One of my new faves from the Vertigo line.
Yeah, I agree. This is fun. This is refreshing and cool and interesting. And yeah, I mean, if a zombie brought me snacks, I wouldn't, kill it at all. You know what I mean? I think that's an amazing thing to do for somebody, regardless of what kind of animal you are. So, yeah, I agree. It was an impressive kind of ramp down to kind of okay, let's get in the rhythm of this comic. But smart choice, works really well here. Art's very creative and cool to kind of set up this world.
Spider-Man, Meals to Astonish, number 1 for Marvel, written by Steve Orlando, Gustavo Duarte, Ken Nomura, Paul Esbach, art by Ron Mercado, Gustavo Duarte, Ken Nomura, and E.J. Su. The main story is focusing on Chef Jose Andres, who is a real-life superhero who helps people all over the world with, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting, is it World Kitchen? That's not
World Central Kitchen.
World Central Kitchen is the name
of
it.
Great organization.
Great organization.
If you don't know about that organization, look it up. It's unbelievable what they do.
So this is honoring him, and I believe there's actually going to be more comics honoring him throughout the year. But here, Electro attacks his restaurant just as Peter Parker is supposed to dine there, and a reporter who looks eerily like the EIC of Marvel Comics, C.B. Sapolsky, but has a different name, so it must be somebody entirely different, are dining there. And
well, you never know. C.B. Sapolsky, he's not one to take on a different name.
Sure, that's not a thing that is
That's not a thing.
deeply steeped in history.
Yeah.
Anyway, the Electro destroys the restaurant, and it's up to Jose Andres and Spider-Man to save the day. And then we get a bunch of backup stories, most of which have spun out digitally. What do you guys think about this?
I thought it was fun. I thought, really bright, cool team up. Love the colors. Love the vibes. Yeah, I thought this was enjoyable and a fun way to kind of take down Electro.
Everyone's got to eat. I like books that are like an anthology book that's organized around an idea, like having this be like food culture. I think is cool. It did feel a little gimmicky, guest starry, and I wish it just went harder with what it was doing, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wonder, these things are always tricky to put together behind the scenes. I do think there was a lot of push to be like, we need to make Jose Andres the hero here, front and center, even more than Spider-Man. And that's great. But by the end of the issue, he's like, we're going to help with these relief efforts. And there's a part of a building that's just webbed up by Spider-Man's webs. And I'm like, that's going to collapse in an hour. That's very dangerous. That is a bad idea. But I do think the art in that one was pretty good. And Steve Orlando did a good job with that one. My favorite one easily, which I believe is an online one, was the Taste of Spider Ramen, which is a bowl of ramen that swings around like Spider-Man and fights, what was it, Dr. Toki? I'm forgetting what those called. The octopus balls.
Yeah.
Whatever it was. He's
Tokachi, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, he's very torn up about Mochi Jane, who is his girlfriend. The whole thing was, I don't know, made me laugh, so I enjoyed that. I did have a question about the last story. So the last story is Test Kitchen, which I believe is based on Tony Stark's Test Kitchen at Avengers Campus, the theme park stuff that they have. So that's what that tie-in is, if I'm getting that correctly. But they have a chef comes in and is cooking a bunch of things for Tony Stark. There's a, I thought, pretty hot scene of Tony and Emma going on a date. Justin, what did you think of that?
You know I was there for it, but I was like, when was this written? Like, this is teasing me specifically, I feel.
Yes. My bigger question, though, is the end of the issue. They go to this barn where all the Avengers are. The Avengers are like, you got to cook for us, and it's got to be something really special and blow us away. We get a montage of the cook putting together ingredients and serving something to them. They're like, oh, this is really good, but what's the secret ingredient in this? And then all at the same time, they say, Jarvis. And then they don't explain it for a little bit. And I was like, are they eating Jarvis? Is that what's happening here? And I think they clarify that, like, no, it's a recipe from Jarvis of chicken. But then the end of the book is Tony Stark being like, I don't know, there's something you're not telling us about this dish. And she's like, gotta go. So do you think she cooked Jarvis?
I think there's implied cannibalism in this?
I think so. I think that was the test.
Everyone's been killing the butler in the last few years.
Oh, yikes.
Well, I don't know. Write us
waste that meat.
Write us in at comicbooklive@gmail.com. Let us know if you think we should cook and eat Jarvis. Transformers number 30 from Skybound and Image Comics, written by Robert Kirkman, art by Dan Mora. Big stuff going down in this issue as the matrix of leadership is passed from one to another. Pete, you got to be losing your mind here.
You've got the touch. You've got the power. Come on, who was singing that when that happened? Huh? As soon as you see the Matrix coming out, you know, that song is just pumping through your head. You know what I mean? Come on, dude. Crazy. Yeah, this was a hell of an issue. Very exciting stuff. Gets you real excited for what's to come. Optimus Prime, not afraid of passing down the torch. You know what I mean? He's not like one of these leaders who's like, you know what, fuck you guys, I run this show, get in line. You know, if people got interesting ideas, and sometimes you got to walk right up to your leaders and try to rip their chest open until they finally listen to you. You know what I mean?
Pull out their essence.
Do you ever get excited, Pete, for what's happening right now? You say excited for what's to come a lot. So you're always like looking down the road to the next thing.
Right.
Are you excited about what's happening right now?
I did think it was kind of crazy to see Optimus give up his Prime. You know what I mean? That was kind of
become
his
a little
Amazon
baby
Prime.
face.
He gave up his Amazon Prime account to Alita.
That's crazy. I would never do that.
Yeah, me either.
That's why she was so powerful at the end.
That free delivery, man. That's important.
Yeah.
You know?
Gotta watch Reacher. How else are you going to watch Reacher?
Yeah, thank you.
That's where they're going back to Cybertron, is to watch some sick Reacher. Both seasons.
Do you get? Do they put up all episodes of Scarpetta yet? I gotta watch Scarpetta.
Yeah, they're fully baked in for all the. Fallout Season 2 had its struggles, is what Roadrunner or whatever is going to say.
Well, you guys, you're talking a lot of trash, but Tracker, Reacher, all those shows are phenomenal. So I don't know why you're even trying to bring it.
Well, I think we've said everything we need to say about this issue of Transformers.
Don't try to turn this to a Tracker conversation, because Reacher and Tracker are very different.
Very different.
Reacher finds clues by leaning over and reaching for them, and Tracker, he eats shit. He eats the shit to track them. It's the only way to track.
Yeah.
So that's the show.
Not
They're
the
very
only
different
way to
ideas.
track, man.
Yeah, well, it's the way he tracks on the
It's
show
the way he
Tracker.
tracks. And that doesn't track. Wait, I have a couple questions about Transformers.
Okay.
So
It's more than meets the eye.
yeah, oh, never mind. That clears all of it up, I think.
I think it does, actually.
Let me ask you this. There's a line in here where these Transformers have been alive for millions of years. Mm-hmm. They don't corrode. I buy a car, I drive off the lot, it depreciates in value. You're telling me Optimus is still at like Blue Book Kelly's Blue Book value after millions of years?
That really threw me too, because to totally spoil it, Alita Battle Angel, I believe is the name of her character, ends up with a matrix of leadership, and is like, we got to go back to Cybertron. That's the number one thing, and she gets like 5 Autobots to go with her. Mm-hmm. That's the thing that's going to stop this war that's been going on for billions.
Sometimes
of years,
all you need is
5 more Autobots.
Yeah, that's all you need sometimes.
It was also crazy because Alita was like, I'm Optimus now. All right, let's go. Who's going to stay here alone with Optimus? And then at the end, they cut to him, and there's like all of the Autobots.
Well, I mean,
like,
who's going to
yo.
leave Optimus and go with this new person who's like, let's go back to Cybertron? You know,
Here's the thing, though. After he gives up Prime status, he's a smaller truck. He's not as big of a truck. He's a shittier truck.
Hey. He might be smaller, but it's got the same amount of fight, my friend.
I don't know. You can see his face now. He smiles and stuff.
Yeah. He used to be like an 18-wheeler. Now he's down to like, I don't know, 12. 6. I only see 6 wheels.
This is very exciting stuff. I thought this was a blast. I was surprised by the choice that Optimus took here, but,
By giving it up.
Yeah. I'm not a gracious leader, I guess.
It was very funny in this. Also, the other Autobots were like, God, Optimus, you have to stop fighting. I was like, all he does is beat the shit out, get beaten up. like we've seen this guy.
Plot. Literally, the plot of Transformers is robots beating each other up. That's the whole thing.
Honestly, Pete, they're never in disguise.
Oh, how dare you!
I haven't seen much transforming. But here's the thing. Why would they ever? In front of each other?
Maybe if they were bashful.
Yeah.
Should we keep talking about this? Why do we not?
I mean, I have other complaints, but I guess we can let it go.
You can register them. We'll get to them later.
Great.
Storm, Earth's
complaints.
Mightiest Mutant #2 from Marvel, written by Murwa Yodole, art by Frederica Manson. In this issue, there's a lot going down as Storm prepares for war.
Ooh.
There is a lot going down in this comic. I like this comic. I've liked this comic a lot. This arc specifically, I'm like, what? We're doing just one too many things, I think, in this. And it's a shame because I like so much of what's been put on the table, but it feels out of control. Storm feels stressed.
Mm-hmm. I really like Wanda on the cover of this book, who is like super tiny in the corner and looking up like, oh, hey, what's going on up there? That's pretty cute. She's in a cute little bubble down at the below. She also has some nice scenes hanging out with Storm.
Yeah, those scenes together were
I like
great.
those that relation.
Costume changes. I continue to really like the sound effects in this series. There's a lot of very funny sound effects that happen throughout it. But we have hit critical mass on plot.
Yeah, I would say. I feel like the team up, with the Scarlet was great. The last panel was kind of fun. But yeah, I hope this kind of quiets down a little bit, this Storm quiets, and we can kind of get into some different ideas, because this is a great team, a great character. It's been really solid. I hope it doesn't kind of lose steam here.
Emperor Aquaman, number 15 from DC Comics, written by Jeremy Adams, art by John Timms. This is taking place after DCKO, and Aquaman, for part of the issue, is having a journey of the soul with different aspects of himself. And in the second half of the issue, he wraps up everything that's happened previously, and then we kick into a new status quo. I certainly have some thoughts I'd like to share about this book, but I'd love to hear from you guys first and see what you think.
I also had a journey into my soul during the first half of this podcast, and I'm now coming out of it.
Oh,
Wow.
okay. You integrated the three parts of your personality?
Yeah.
I guess you're
the
the
boy,
Aquaman.
the man, and the old man.
I guess you're the Aquaman of the podcast.
Yeah, yes. Always have been. Well, especially when I had that hook hand for the late 90s.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And then it was part water. That was crazy.
That's crazy.
My
How did I
old water
forget
hand.
about that? Yeah.
Yeah. I was always making a mess.
Really?
Wait.
Yeah, go ahead.
Before you were going to say what I wanted to say, I thought this was awesome. I liked the Mera in this issue, and Aquaman kind of saving her in the nick of time there. Great action, great art. I thought this was really fun. I hope this continues. I like this kind of setup, so I was impressed.
Do you want to?
No, go ahead, Justin, please.
I like the Aquaman stuff in here, and the mythological status stuff I thought was very cool. The Mera and her mom stuff, I don't know. It's harder to get on board with that. It feels like, especially when they're like Emperor Aquaman, I'm like, what is all of this then? And he's showing up in this issue and sort of taking the reins in a way that I was like, I want either more time with Mera or just more time with Aquaman here, because that's where we're going. But I did like a lot of the Aquaman stuff, getting into the more mythological underpinnings of the story.
A couple of quick thoughts. First of all, I appreciated the title page, which I'm paraphrasing here, but was like, the tournament is over. Superman distributed his cosmic energy to all of the tournament contenders, amping up their power. And I was like, oh, okay, is that what happened at the end of DCKO? That clarifies quite a bit of what's going on here.
Everybody got a little power boost? That's fun.
Everybody got a power boost. I didn't know that until I read the title page.
Everyone's juiced.
Everybody's juice. Everybody's got that Superman juice coursing through their blood.
Alpha energy.
Like you, Justin, really liked the stuff at the beginning. I think that's what you were saying with the three Aquamen. It reminded me a bit of Moon Knight stuff occasionally, and I kind of felt like that was enough of an idea to potentially power an entire arc. I would have been really interested to read Aquaman exploring all the aspects of his identity over the course of even like 5 or 6 issues or something like that, because I thought that was very cool. I agree with you about all the Mera stuff. It felt like they just needed to kind of wrap up this arc before moving on to the next thing. I do have questions about where they're heading, because the entire issue I was like, this is called Emperor Aquaman. We're not saying Emperor Aquaman. I don't know what that means until the end, when everybody calls Emperor Aquaman, and then it teases the next issue where he's saying their new mission is not just the seas on Earth, it's the seas everywhere.
Yeah.
Are they going to do the intergalactic empire of Wakanda, but with a white guy?
Ooh, interesting.
Interesting.
I didn't think that, but I was thinking more because he went through to Absolute Universe. He did all the portal stuff. I was just thinking, oh, he's going to be a crossover character. But if he's like, I go where the water goes, I agree with you. That's not cool.
Yeah, but we'll see. It's all going to be in the execution. It was just seeing that, like, tease.
I thought it meant space water. Like we were going to get space water in the next issue.
Yes, that's what the intergalactic empire would be. Anyway, I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see what happens. No need to get upset in advance.
I like to start the day with some space water.
Yeah. Venom 255 from Marvel, written by Al Ewing, art by Carlos Gomez. This is continuing the Death Spiral crossover, which is pitting new villain Torment against Venom and Spider-Man, and it turns out also Carnage. which goes down this issue as Venom and Spider-Man figure out that Carnage is not behind the murder of the Shocker. I'll just note we had Joe Kelly, who didn't write this issue, but is part of this crossover on the live show podcast this week. Great chat with him. Go and listen to that. But what do you guys think? Death Spiral still spiraling up in part number 3?
It is, and I talked about this a little bit in our interview with Joe, that in the previous issue of this crossover, when Mary Jane and Peter revealed to each other that they were, she revealed that she was Venom, and he was like, what? And he was like, I was in space. I was like, this is it. This is where the rom-com begins. And I feel like this issue only made that case stronger. Like, I think they're going to have a spider romance. They're coming in a different sort of power dynamic area. I think it's going to be
fresh.
I know it's going to be just what you want, Pete. A sick threesome between Peter, Mary Jane, and Venom.
Oh man, I ain't against that as long as.
All right. See?
Yeah, I think that would be fun. You
love goop play.
Sure. I thought this was a great issue. I thought things were getting interesting. I think that the kind of new status quo is getting interesting. I am nervously excited about what this means for Spider-Man and MJ moving forward. But crazy last panel. What's great is I don't, sometimes when they have this kind of big villain setup, you end up really hating the villain or like being like, well, whatever. I think this is interesting. So I'm kind of still intrigued by what's happening. So I think they're doing a good job of kind of like pumping up this this kind of crossover event.
I love this. I think the characterization is so good in here. Agree with everything you guys said. And I'll add on that Al Ewing writes a really good Carnage. The way that Carnage in the background, Eddie Brock freaking out because clearly his dad has been set up to die, and Carnage, you could hear the tone of, oh, I'm so sorry, Eddie. Did I set this up? It comes through so clearly in the writing, and it's so darkly comic throughout. That is great. I do really like this villain. I like seeing the way everybody's teaming up and fighting against each other. My one little quibble.
You didn't like the Frank Sinatra joke? You didn't like that?
No, that's fine. Oh. I don't like the fact that Venom and Spider-Man see Carnage ruled written in blood on a wall and are like, must be Carnage that wrote that. When it's clearly like, no, that is not Carnage. That is specifically what that's indicating.
Well, I also thought it was strange. I feel like they said Carnage rules, and I was like, that says ruled.
Right.
Yeah. Very clearly.
Yeah. So, I don't know. That was a little bit of a writerly thing, I think, to send them down the wrong path so they could come in conflict with Eddie Brock. I still like how it executed, so I'm not too upset about it, but good stuff.
What do you think about the way that Carnage just pops Eddie's eyeball out?
Gross.
Is that his real eye?
I think so.
Yeah.
It's weird that Eddie just sits there and takes it.
Well, because
it's not like he's got a choice.
I know, but I'd be like rolling around and screaming.
He's tougher than you, hypothetically. We can never prove it. We can't prove it.
Great save there at the end of the sentence there, Justin.
It's hypothetical. That's what we talking. We speak in opinions. Takes from lukewarm to blazing hot. My question, though, is did he reattach this nerve? Is now Eddie's eyeball nerve Carnage goo?
No, Carnage can, like Venom, can basically remake his entire body, right? Like, he explains that in the issue. He says, I can give you a new face, I can completely remake you.
But I mean more like, if Carnage leaves, like, what's his eyeball status?
Oh, later? Yeah. I think at this point he's fixed his eyeball and his eyeball would still be there. But right now, Carnage and Eddie are bonded together, and if they separate, they both die.
Yep.
Right.
So
high
romantic.
stakes.
Yes, but the eyeball would still be there.
Okay.
Which is the main concern. Undiscovered Country, number 35, from Image Comics, written by Scott Snyder and Charles Soule, art by Giuseppe Camuncoli and Leonardo Marcello Grassi. We're really getting to the end here of this book.
Are we?
I don't know. As we have
I think next issue.
Yeah. Next issue or the issue
We've been
after.
saying that for so many issues.
I think this has been coming out the entire time we've been doing the show, potentially.
Yep.
I'd be very curious to talk to Scott and Charles about this because we talked to them like multiple times over the run of this series, what this experience was like, because, wow, this is taking a long time to come out, but we are getting down to it as our survivors are facing down Aurora, the American computer that has completely changed the landscape. I've been a little back and forth on this series sometimes, even though I really like the creative team, but I think they are bringing it home nicely in this last arc. There are really high stakes. There's a clear villain. You can keep track of all the characters because most of them have been killed at this point. So I'm enjoying this. I think this is really bringing it home in a nice way.
Yeah, I agree. This continues to be creatively impressive. Hell of a last panel. Amazing art. Unique story. I think the only thing that kind of hurt this comic was it went away for a little bit, then came back. So like, it's tough to keep track of all the things that happened. But I think that's easily solved in like a trade or something like that. But man, I think if they kind of really can pull this off, it will really kind of be impressive. So I'm rooting for it. Yeah.
Yeah, same. We've had, like Alex, you were saying, we've been reading this for so long. So I'm excited to see what the final statement is here. And I know these guys have been very carefully building out the story, and that there's just so many ideas of what they think about technology, America, politics, societies across the board. And so I'm very much looking forward to the final statement, which I think we are getting next issue.
Would it be really funny if the final issue, the final panel was like, you know what? America is pretty great.
Yeah. Pure patriotism.
Yes. Happy 250th birthday, America.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see. We'll find out. Magik Colossus, #2 for Marvel, written by Ashley Allen, art by German Peralta. In this issue, our Rasputin siblings fight some mermaids.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. In Russia, the mermaid's little you.
I got it,
Alex.
I enjoyed it.
The first off, great cover. You know? You guys know?
I do know.
The one that's right here on the screen?
Yeah, I like it. Don't describe it.
Yeah, no, I would never. I just say it's right here and I point at it. This is great.
Yeah.
And I say, like, this is great down here. I have all this circle.
This is all for the audio podcast. This is all for the audio podcast.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, like, this is an extended sequence with just murder mermaids, which I was like, oh, not what I expected out of this comic.
But it's fun. I enjoyed this. I thought it was, they kind of bonded after they beat up some mermaids. We kind of get this classic not again ending, but I'm enjoying this. I think these two are fun, and it'll be interesting to see what the kind of twist is this time.
I mean, we need a redemption arc for Colossus. He's a character that hasn't done much and then has been a straight up villain in the last year and a half in the Marvel Comics universe. He's the bad guy in Ultimate Wolverine for a while, and in was it in the crossover, the Age of Revelation? He was bad.
No, it was X-Force.
Oh, right, the X-Force run. That's right. Where Mikhail, his brother, was sort of taking over or something, and it was hard to tell exactly what was happening. But Colossus is a badass character. We get there's a couple little moments in here where he just is wrecking someone's face. I was like, yeah, he's got metal.
The one thing I wanted to add on is I thought good action in this issue. I know we were making fun of the mermaid fight, but the mermaid fight was pretty cool, and it was well laid out and a lot of fun. So I'm enjoying this series so far. Harley and Ivy, Life and Crimes, #4 from DC Comics by Erica Henderson. We are continuing the burgeoning relationship of Harley and Ivy. This issue, they have been cornered naked after hooking up for the first time by the Gotham City PD and are on the run. naked and trying to work that out. And that's a large part of the comedy of this issue. Just great. I know I've said this with the previous three issues, but just, yeah. Perfect art, really good relationship stuff, great just romance comic. I'm having a lot of fun reading this.
No better icebreaker than a fun romp completely in the nude with a potential romantic partner.
Yeah, particularly in Gotham City, where those streets are probably disgusting.
Yeah, they're going to need their tetanus shots, which is another intimate thing you can do with a new partner.
Yeah, I also love this. Just the two of them, the way this issue started, the two of them on a motorcycle, I was like, I'm already in. This is such a fun kind of start, and the art does such an amazing job of like this fun vibe that really encapsulates both of them. Yeah, they're working it out. They're going to continue to see each other, which is so exciting. Very much pulling for these two. So, yeah, I was absolutely loving this issue. And it is worth it for the art alone. This is unbelievable art. So epic and great. So
I would say it's worth it for the words alone, but take it either way.
Worth it for the editorial choices alone.
Worth it for the staples alone. Planet of the Apes versus Fantastic Four #2 from Marvel, written by Josh Trulio, art by Andrea DeVito. Last issue, Four of the Apes from the classic Planet of the Apes got the Fantastic Four's powers while they lost their powers. This issue, they explore further how to possibly get home while mysterious forces work in the background. I think at least 2 out of the 3 of us were pleasantly surprised by the first issue of this. How do we think about issue #2?
I think it's cool. The only thing, and this is such a bad thing to say, but like I really wanted them to crash land on Planet of the Apes after their first mission, where they got their powers.
So they were new at it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because that I was like, oh, that's a perfect one-to-one to the original Charlton Heston, which I guess they're also not really doing here, but like of him being like totally out of sorts on the Planet of the Apes.
Well, but this is in continuity. This takes place after the original Planet of the Apes. They keep referencing Bright Eyes, and we get to see the shuttle this issue. I was about to say episode. Pete, you don't like Planet of the Apes. Do you like this?
Yeah, it's not really my cup of tea, but the art is really impressive. I do feel, though, if you are a POTA fan, you will like this.
Why don't you like the Planet of the Apes?
I don't know. It's just never struck me as fun or cool.
Which part don't you like, the planet or the apes?
Probably the apes.
There was... You've told this story before, Pete, the time you went to the zoo and an ape bit your head.
Yeah, told them many a time.
Yeah. And that's it. That's the whole story.
That's the whole story. They didn't even refund my ticket.
They were
just like, sorry about that.
Did you read the fine print? Right on the back of the ticket is like, no refunds if an ape bites your head.
Yeah.
And for how many years did you wait and see if you're going to get the powers of an ape?
I'm still waiting.
Yeah. Were you just like keeping a bunch of bananas in your room and be like, I'm going to crave these?
Oh, yeah. I always keep bananas ready.
There's bananas just all over, uneaten bananas for
I
years.
always keep bananas ready, says Pete. That's a Pete quote, is what he just said. I always keep bananas ready. Do you mean peeled? Like a cartoon? What do you mean by ready with these bananas?
I mean, you can't have super tight bananas if you don't have any bananas. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you have to have loose bananas to compare.
Yeah.
Excuse me, sir. We'll have some loose bananas to compare for the table. I don't know what I'm talking about.
We learned a lot about what Pete's up to. Banana ready.
Oh, God.
Come on, man. We're so close.
We're so close. Usagi Yojimbo, Kaido 84, #1 from Dark Horse Comics, written by Zach Rosenberg, art by Jared Cullen. We had the team, wrong Bergie. We had the team from this book on the podcast a couple of weeks back, so check that out. Pete, go for it.
Yeah, this is just, I mean, first off, epic first panel. It looks like an amazing painting that I would buy. Yeah, this is just so impressive as far as like artistically, and this is a cool kind of adventure. I didn't get to see Japan in '84, so why not take a trip with this team and go check it out? So yeah, I'm very excited for this epic journey. Love this art. Excited about this team. So yeah, this seems like a no-brainer for me.
And you didn't see that because, Pete, you were backpacking in Europe in '84. Is that correct?
Yes. Well, Justin was a street performer, and
That's right.
Yeah. So I was just checking out his early
And continue
shows.
to be.
Right. And it was, I believe, at the Berlin Zoo where a ape bit your head.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yes.
I was the ape.
I wish you would still do that show. Great art in this book. Really like the art and character designs in particular. I think they're very fun. They also have a backup where they draw themselves as Usagi Yojimbo characters.
Yeah, the
That's a
back
lot of
matter.
fun as well. So really gorgeous book.
Yeah,
The crazy.
letter to the reader is also really good. Cool. Sorry, Justin.
You felt personally addressed. The crazy part is, when I was meeting up with Pete on that faithful zoo trip, I accidentally fell into a stream of radiation, and then in my last act bit Pete, so he got the proportional strength and stamina of me.
Wow.
Well, that's
really
more stamina and strength than he has now.
I mean,
That's right.
Justin, when you think about it, on my birthday, you were like, "Let's go see Planet of the Apes," and I was like, "No, sir."
Yes, no, I saw it alone.
Man, when
I
you think about it.
still holding that line.
So let me ask you, would you say that your Justin sense was tingling when you chose to see that movie alone without me? Made time out of my day on your birthday to walk into a movie theater with you and say goodbye.
And then demand the one movie I didn't want to see.
I did not demand. I
You
was
were like, "I'm going to go see this," and I was like, "You don't want to."
what movie did you see? I'll tell you what, it was bad.
You went to see Hercules. You went to see The Rock. Hercules.
The Rock is Hercules. Yeah.
No bueno.
And where was I? Not invited.
Not
Hulk smash
yeah,
everything.
just as much fun in your own movie theater, I bet.
Hulk Smash Everything, #4 from Marvel, written by Ryan North, art by Vincenzo Caratu. Each issue of this book finds Hulk smashing increasingly large or insane things. Last issue, he was stuck in the middle of a supermassive black hole and managed to work his way out. Now gigantic, radioactive powered, and spiny, has come back to Earth to confront the leader who accidentally sent him there, and ends up fighting the entire planet Earth, like literally planet Earth. I laughed out loud several times reading this issue. This series is an absolute delight. I am having such a fun time. I said this the last time. It plays completely to Ryan North's strengths of being like, oh, let's throw some scientific concepts in here in the most ridiculous way possible through the comic book lens. It's just very fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is great. Oh, go ahead.
No good.
Yeah, it's just a blast. I mean, when are people going to learn to leave Hulk the fuck alone? Let him just smash the leader. You know what I mean? Nobody cares. But yeah, I thought this was just so fun, so funny, great art. It really delivers on the title and, gives you what you want. So really well done.
Pete, sorry, I'm just getting word that the leader's whittle cute dog hasn't eaten in days because the Hulk smashed the leader.
That's fine.
Are you prepared to face the unintended consequences?
Yes, I am.
Wow, that's a hungry dog. I agree with you guys. Like, this is very fun, but Hulk's there's no way to reason with him. He even says, like, "No, Bruce, I'm Hulk right now." So that's what we're getting, and boy, does he smash up the crust of the earth.
Yeah.
Last but not least, Sirens, Love Hurts, #2 from DC Comics, written by Tini Howard, art by Babs Tarr. We've got Poison Ivy, Harley Quinn, and Catwoman are sort of teaming up with Black Canary, who is getting ready for her wedding, to solve a series of murders that are happening in Gotham while wearing a variety of costumes and dealing with romantic troubles of their own, or maybe not so much troubles in Catwoman and Batman's.
Yeah.
Whoa.
World's
This is Black Label
greatest
book.
detective, indeed.
Detective, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a Black Label book, so there's a lot of sexiness and cursing and stuff going on. What'd you guys think?
I like it. I like all the sex and I like all the cursing.
I'm 12.
Yeah, I thought this was fun. The star science was kind of cool for the enemy villain stuff. So, yeah, art is good. Villain was interesting.
I think the real standout here is Babstar's art. Just the designs are great of the characters. It's very fun to just flip through and look at her stuff. T.D. Howard's words are good as well. But as I always say, it's worth it for the art alone. And that is it for the stack. If you'd like to support this show and all the shows we do, patreon.com/comic book club. Also, we do a live show every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. to YouTube. Come hang out. We would love to chat with you. Excuse me, about comic books, Apple, Spotify, Android, or the app of your choice. To subscribe, listen, and follow the show, comicbookclublive.com for this podcast and many more. Until next time, we'll see you at the Comic Book Club.
And we never really figured out what island Pete was visiting so frequently.
It starts with an E.
90s.
It's Kotian.